It is not a state statute.
This is Maricopa County Constable Rustin Pierce appearing at a state Senate hearing a couple weeks ago to express his support for a bill that would no longer require elected officials be subjected to a background check or drug test, which is a bit ironic considering Pierce could be facing criminal charges for his questionable conduct on the job. Arizona's family has learned the constable, who represents East Mesa, is accused of evicting someone from this Mesa apartment complex, then going back 2 weeks later to try and take guns and ammo from the vacant apartment. According to this investigation report by the Arizona Constable Ethics, Standards, and Training Board, Constable Pierce did not return to the apartment complex to execute orders from the court, but to remove property that had been left by the evicted tenant.
You don't want to think that this police officer or this constable that comes to your door is going to steal your property.
Ron Myers spent 16 years as a Maricopa County constable and says these kind of allegations send a bad message to the public.
When you're an elected official, you're an elected peace officer as a constable, you're serving the public, you need to uphold all the laws. You need to abide by the laws. You can't even have the appearance of an impropriety. And this certainly has that.
Another constable interviewed during the investigation stated that Pierce told him there were several nice guns in the apartment that he would like to take home. But Pierce was never allowed back into the apartment. When Pierce returned to the complex out of uniform a couple weeks after the eviction, the property manager reportedly told him he was not authorized to go back. Asked about returning to the apartment, Pierce told investigators, "If they were going to trash out the apartment, I didn't want them to throw everything away because there was some good stuff."
That's my understanding.
Scott Blake is president of the Arizona Constables Association. He says there are strict laws and guidelines constables must follow when serving an eviction.
Once that eviction has been done, locks are changed, windows are secured, the garage door is secured, our job is done at that point. It's now that home, in essence, becomes a storage facility. It would never be allowed for a constable to go back in there to remove anything.
Arizona's family reached out to Constable Pierce to get his side of the story and ask about the allegations against him. He told us over the phone, "It's all conjecture because I didn't access the apartment. I just asked about it. I was trying to be helpful." Arizona law clearly states that a public officer cannot use his official position to receive anything of value, and if they ask or receive something they're not supposed to, they're guilty of a Class 6 felony. The Constable Ethics Board has now referred Constable Pierce's case to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, which will decide whether criminal charges will be filed.
The public elects you to do a job as a constable. They put their trust in you. You need to uphold the public's trust.
Now, according to state law, a landlord must hold an evicted tenant's property for 14 days to give them a chance to come back and claim it. In this case, Constable Pierce went back on day 15, according to the report, asking the apartment manager and maintenance man to open the unit back up, which they were not authorized to do. The constable reportedly got upset and apparently didn't come back to serve another eviction.
I'm still so taken aback that he lobbied against background checks for elected officials and drug tests. That aside, but what happens now? Is he facing any kind of suspension?
Not at this time, but that could change. He is currently on unrelated medical leave, but it all depends on what the county attorney's office does moving forward. If charges are filed, the ethics board could recommend that Constable Pierce step down while he goes through the court system. If he's cleared, he could go back to work, but could face some type of reprimand. We'll keep you posted. Back to you guys.
We'll see what the